So thank you, Mr. Visek, for all of your help and throughout the courses. So if any of you guys want to know more about courses with the London School of Design and Marketing, you should check it because it offers unlimited opportunities, and it has a great it gives you the great opportunity to even if you're working. Imagine I was doing two jobs while I was studying my master's, and it was still I was still able to make it happen. So it's a great opportunity if you or if one of you want to study something, bachelor in like bachelor or a master in design or marketing. You should have a look. So we are gonna talk about sustainable fashion through design and digital innovation. This was my master's, my thesis project for my master's degree, and actually, I wanted to dive into to find to make a deep research and find a solution. For a more sustainable future in fashion, as is the second most polluting industry in the whole world. So let's begin. Let's start. Why this is not working? Okay. So let's start with what is sustainable fashion. Is a term describing efforts in the fashion industry to reduce its environmental impacts, protect workers, which is a very big factor, producing garments and uphold animal welfare. Sustainability in fashion encompasses a wide range of factors, including cutting CO2 emissions, addressing overproduction, reducing pollution and waste, supporting biodiversity, and ensuring that garment workers are paid a fair wage and have safe working conditions. Sustainable fashion aims to concern people about the industry's environmental impact and help companies improve transparency and their supply chain process from the idea to the final customer. I don't know if you ever think about the term of sustainable fashion, or is something that you taking into consideration before you make a purchase, but is an important factor, and I'm going to explain you why. So about this project, this research investigates sustainable fashion using a blend of qualitative and quantitative and visual research methods, including interviews and a survey. This research offers insights into the industry challenges and proposes solutions through sustainable design and digital innovation, aiming to foster a more sustainable fashion industry. So some things while I was doing my research that triggered me or got my attention was like the United States throws away around 11.3 tons of textiles annually, around 2,000 pieces every second, which is a huge amount. Imagine every second that we're talking now, so many textiles are thrown away. Also, shockingly, 71% of microplastics in river water samples stem from these fibers, highlighting the urgent need for change. These microplastics enter our sewage system, and many are too small to be collected by wastewater treatment plants because these pieces are very tiny. But even the microfibers are captured can end up in our oceans as treatment plant sludge is frequently used as fertilizer on fields from which it enters waterways, ultimately the sea. So these are, as you can see, these are the microplastics, and 71% are from the garments, our garments that they are thrown away. So using the famous hashtag, if you know it, the outfit of the day, according to a study from the UK, 1 in 10 consumers admit that people buy clothes only to post a photo on their social media accounts, and after that, they return the pieces or they are not wearing them again. Fast fashion brands keep bombarding people with offers and use of social media, while influencers cause the need for people to buy more and new every day. I found even myself many times to say, oh, I need this piece. It's only £5 or €5. I need to take that piece. Think about that next time, why you need that piece. So the unsustainable fashion problem remains the same and it gets bigger. As you can see on the right side of your screen, these pictures are not edited at all. I was watching a documentary from Deutsche Welle, a channel in Germany, who a journalist visited Faisal Baland, the village in Pakistan, who people are drinking this brown water, as you can see, and people are getting sick from the contaminated water, from the garments production, that the factories are close to their village. So the environmental impacts of the fashion industry is enormous. Each year, more than 92 million tons of waste are generated, with 79 trillion liters of water consumed. The sector's resource consumption, greenhouse gas emissions, and toxic production methods contribute significantly to environmental degradation. For instance, it takes approximately 200 liters of water to produce just 1 kilogram of textile. Moreover, the fashion industry's rapid production and consumption cycles exacerbates the problem, with more than 80 billion garments manufactured annually, which is a huge amount. Despite their low prices, many fast fashion items conceal a high environmental cost. Laboratory tests have revealed toxic chemicals in these products, with levels exceeding the safety limits, posing serious health risks to consumers. Additionally, the Faisabaland village, as I mentioned earlier, in Pakistan, where contaminated water has caused numerous health issues, including high mortality rates among young people and children. Such environmental and health consequences highlight urgent need for sustainable practices within the fashion industry. So, while some fast fashion brands offer garment recycling programs, like H&M, for example, the reality of their sustainability efforts is still questionable. 70% of all clothes are made from synthetic fibers and crude oil, materials that are very difficult to turn into new garments. Even if true recycling were happening, the complex mix of materials in most clothes, buttons, zippers, different fabrics like elastane or organic cotton combined makes it nearly impossible to recreate new clothes from them. So, have you ever wondered, where do these return clothes go? A large portion ends up in Eastern Europe, where they are burned as a cheap fuel for just €30 per ton. This burning of textiles, along with plastic, releases harmful pollutants like volatile organic compounds, nitrogen oxides, and sulfur dioxides, making Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, the most air polluted capital in Europe, and contributing to respiratory problems and even strokes. So, what the European Union does for this? The European Union pushed for sustainable fashion. The European Union is taking a multi-pronged approach to drive sustainability across industries. Digital product passports are a key innovation mandated by the Eco-Design for Sustainable Products Regulation. These passports, still in development, will track a product's environmental impact, supply chain, and materials using blockchain technology. This transparency empowers consumers and facilitates circularity. Also, the EU has introduced regulations targeting specific sectors. The extended producer responsibility policy holds brands accountable for a product's entire life cycle, while the Corporate Sustainable Reporting Directive requires companies to document their environmental efforts. Moreover, the Corporate Sustainability due diligence directive ensures companies align with human rights and environmental goals. These all regulations, coupled with the eco-design SPR, create a framework for brands to prioritize resource efficiency, reusability, and long-lasting products, fostering a more sustainable future. But it's not only a government's response. Here is the industry's perspective. In 2021, Business of Fashion, the known website, you might know it, Sustainability Index assessed the top 15 apparel brands, considering factors like transparency, emissions, water and chemical usage, workers' rights, and waste, yielding an average score of 36 out of 100. Kering Group emerged as the leader in sustainability, scoring the highest at 49, while LVMH Group, who owns the most of the renowned brands, ranked fourth with a score of 30. Kering Group's commitment to sustainability is evident from the earliest stages of product development, focusing on raw materials. They've established knowledge centers, specific supply chains programs, and an innovative material laboratory, creating over 4,000 sustainable textiles. Despite industry advancements, the Sustainability Index highlights that workers' rights continue to be a low-performing category in the fashion industry sustainable efforts. So, after making all this research, I used a dual method research approach. The project development for this research was undertaken through a dual method research approach, combining qualitative and quantitative research methods to achieve a comprehensive understanding of the topic. So the first research involved conducting interviews with two designers from the fashion industry, specifically the designer and creative director Davide Colla, and a footwear designer at Puma Footwear, Daniel Shirley. Davide Colla, in our discussion, highlights the importance of aligning the design, brand goals, and utilizing new tools like AR or VR for effective communication. He sees also sustainability as a growing focus for fashion brands. Now, Daniel Shirley, a 3D printed shoe designer, emphasizes the limitation of traditional methods that often create waste and use virgin materials. He explores 3D printing potential for single material on-demand production with reduced waste through challenges like limited materials and printing times exist. Like, I don't know if you know what a 3D printed shoe is. It's a factory-free shoe designed, which is designed on demand. And when it is destroyed, you can reuse the material to create a new one from this material. So no waste, no water waste, no contaminated water, no CO2, everything is way much better. So both designers acknowledge the need for consumer education and agree that sustainability will be increasingly important in design. So my quantitative research was a survey. Some of you might responded to my survey, and thank you for that. So the survey method used with multiple choice questions to facilitate easier analysis. The survey consisted of 23 questions, and there were 75 participants. So some important key points are, for example, around 83% of respondents are aware of sustainable fashion, while 68% understand the environmental impact of fast fashion. However, only 6.2% prioritize sustainability in their purchase decisions, with factors like price, style, and size being more significant. Can you think about yourself? Like, before you make a purchase, how often do you think about how sustainable is the brand that you about to purchase? Like, what is its environmental cost? So let's go to the next one. 52.9% of respondents reported owning many clothing pieces that they do not wear. Imagine your wardrobe now. How many clothes your wardrobe has? Are you wearing all of them? Or you keep wearing the same clothes, but still you have many, many clothes in it? So maybe this is a food for thought to reduce your pieces and give to the ones that you're not wearing anymore a second life. So more than the half of the respondents couldn't name a sustainable fashion brand they like. I had a question in my survey and I was asking them, can you name a sustainable fashion that you like? So half of them, or they didn't know any sustainable fashion brand, or they could know one, but they didn't know that this brand is sustainable. So only 22.7% of respondents expressed a willingness to purchase secondhand items or rent clothing, while the rest either didn't prefer this option or were uncertain about buying secondhand items. 68% of respondents have seen an increase in visual communication for sustainable fashion over the past few years. But still, so after all these combined informations that I collected, I have a potential design solution to present you. So the name of it is the conscious choice rule. It's a labeling system with a grading criteria. So the grading design journey, after my whole analysis and online data and my research, it has become evident that significant progress opportunities exist for both business and customers. Upon reviewing the implementation of digital product passport, the one that we mentioned earlier, it is apparent sensitivity health that certain crucial information such as the compatibility of clothing with skin sensitivity, health, and sustainability remains lacking. To address this gap, the concept of introducing a new grading system, named as conscious choice, for clothing emerges as a vital step forward. This proposed system would necessitate participation from key stakeholders, including government authorities, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. Drawing inspiration from existing industry grading systems like Germany's Nutri-Score for food and the EU Energy Lab for electric appliances, this labeling system could offer a solution from the fashion industry, which stands as the second most polluting industry globally. I'll tell you something. I was in Cologne in Germany last year, and I was in the supermarket, and I was about to buy a yogurt. So I chose to buy a yogurt with strawberry flavor. So I saw, while I was about to buy it, I saw that this yogurt with the flavored one was labeled as C, and the natural taste was labeled as A. So immediately, without anything more, I thought, no, I'm not going to buy the flavored one. I'm going to buy the natural taste. So I took this opportunity to make this grading system, to repurpose it into fashion and make this labeling system for our clothing pieces. This innovative approach provides consumers with a clear and comprehensible guide, aligning with the increasing trend of informed purchasing decisions. It serves as a visionary integration of transparency and sustainability within the fashion industry, potentially incentivizing brands to adjust their pricing strategies based on assigned grades. For instance, certain expensive clothes items, how many times you went to a fast fashion store and you realized that this jacket is kind of expensive to be a fast fashion jacket. So this grading system categorizes clothing into 5 grades, from A, representing exceptional sustainability and safety, to E, indicating unsustainability and potential harm. Within each grade, 4 essential subcategories, as you can see here, cover information including materials, environmental impact, skin safety, and garment lifetime, with specific percentages assigned to each section. A, materials, environmental impact, skin safety, and lifetime. Sorry. So let's see the label design. So these are the label, the grading system that we have. Here is the grade, the size, the percentage of materials used according to the grade, the lifetime according to the grade again, the braille writing system for blind people, which is essential, but we cannot see everywhere, unfortunately, the QR code for people that they want to know more about the grading system, and the garment labeling care. So I prepared some mock-ups to show you how this would be, the conscious choice rule, and how I really want to know your opinion after my presentation and tell me if you would taking into consideration after watching this grading system. So something more that we could do, even if it was a possible design solution, to make this solution more famous, we could make it a campaign. So I chose black and white posters around the city, and I used just easy uppercase letters in red, and make different questions, call to action to make, for example, this driver behind this bus to think, does your outfit reflect your values? Like, as a person, what are your values? Is it your t-shirt from a fast fashion brand? And or some how would you rate your outfit of today? But not in terms as an influencer, but in terms of sustainability. How healthy is what you're wearing right now? So how safe is your skin in these clothes? Is it harmful for your skin? Do you have a sensitive skin? Are you taking into consideration before you buy these clothes? So is the conscious choice labeling system a good design solution? I had to question myself. So the conscious choice rule is an innovative solution, I believe, to address sustainability concerns in the fashion industry. It combines transparency, accessibility, and consumer empowerment, which are key elements for driving positive change. Here are some reasons why it can be considered a good design solution. Transparency and information accessibility. The system provides a clear and transparent way for consumers to understand the environmental impact and safety considerations of clothing choices. By incorporating braille, tactile symbols, and sensory cues, it ensures accessibility for individuals with visual impairments, promoting inclusivity. Consumer empowerment. This labeling system empowers consumers to make informed decisions aligned with their values. By offering a comprehensive guides to the sustainability of fashion items, consumers can actively contribute to a more sustainable industry through their purchasing choices. Industry incentives, which is very, very important. The rating system creates incentives for fashion brands to prioritize sustainability in their design and production processes. Because imagine if Zara, for example, has that jacket 100 pounds, but it's D, the grading system is D, they cannot give it that price. It has to be 25 pounds, I guess. So the prospect of achieving a higher rating encourages the adoption of eco-friendly materials and ethical practices, fostering a more responsible industry. That was my design solution. Let me know what you think and if you have any questions. Thank you.
Great. That was quite an insightful presentation, Vicky. Thank you so much. What I will do is I will open the floor for our audience. If you have any questions, queries regarding Vicky's work, the theme as it is, or how Vicky developed the work, please go ahead.
Or I really want to know your opinion about this grading system, because Mr. Abhishek, when I presented my thesis project, had asked me the great question, like, how is this possible? Remember this question, Mr. Abhishek, how is this possible to give this label in every single clothing piece? That was a very good question. And I had to say, while I was presenting my thesis, I wasn't prepared about it. So I thought my response was like, people are still smoking, but every single pocket of cigarettes of smoke has this system, this message like smoke kills, and any of these pockets has this message, this a call to action to stop actually smoking. Exactly the same way I hope it can happen to any single clothing piece. What do you think, guys?
For starters, I think it's a great idea, and I hope it doesn't get disregarded as easily as smoking does. But that's one of the things, I mean, when you're talking about these things, it needs to be an intervention that has, let's say, a lot of sides. So one of the sides is public policy. How do you plan to inform public policy is the question here. How do you get governments or local administrations to make this a rule? Say, for example, if a brand wants to sell their products here, they need to include, and which happens regularly with food or with consumables. So it's about going through the same steps and getting it, let's say, getting the same system put in place for fashion. So we have a comment from Hanin. Wonderful solution. The part is the information accessibility. It gives consumers the power of choice. That's absolutely true. I think that's one of the key benefits of this project.
Joanna has a question, as I can see. Thanks for your good comments, guys. How far are we from informing the new generation about all of this? We see TikTok and fast fashion brands targeting them for more and more. Yeah, that's true, actually. Imagine Ioana, I have to tell you something. While I was doing my research last year, I was checking about what industry did, and as I mentioned, the EU did the digital product passport, and it was about to be implemented in 2024. But before, actually, before I prepared this presentation, I was checking like, is this active? But still, it's not active, and still they say by 2050 we'll be able to actually to make it happen, at least the digital product passport. So I don't know if it's soon possible like that possible to happen.
I think it's 2030. is when they want it to be implemented on a fairly basic level, digital product passport. But it's a great idea.
Yeah, I hope someone from the EU people can hear us, so we can definitely we can give them our idea. So a whole new approach on how much you value your outfit. Yeah, imagine that. Have you ever think about it? Yes, how do we get the design solution implemented? And one of the reasons why people still go for the fast fashion is pricing. Why is ethical fashion or anything ethical more expensive? So let me mute. How do we get the design solution? Hanin has a question. Implemented, and one of the reason why people still go for fast fashion is pricing. Why is ethical fashion or anything ethical more expensive? I will tell you why I believe that, honey. So on LinkedIn, I follow a very, very second-hand luxury brand, which is called Vestiaire Collectiva. And recently they had a campaign which they have only luxury items, second-hand luxury items, very pricey. So they break down actually the amount of euros that you spend while you're using the clothing piece. They had the fast fashion bag and a price, let's say, a luxury bag, and next to each other. And they had on their campaigns 3.5 euros per use for the luxury one, lifetime 10 years. And for the fast fashion item, they had 3.5 euros per use, lifetime, one time. I mean, you're gonna wear it only one time. You have to think like the luxury items are made from quality and materials that they are made to last for more and more years. And so you can implement and invest actually, I believe, in clothing pieces that they are not harmful for your skin. Imagine you're buying leggings for the gym from a fast fashion company, and it exceeds even the safety limits that EU gives for them to prepare to make this clothing piece. So I do believe, I think that we have to take into consideration very seriously more ethical fashion and invest more money to buy one clothing piece a bit more pricey. So shorter life is the only reason, or is sourcing ethical materials also more expensive? I could say both. I could say both. Shorter life. No, shorter life is the reason. Shorter life is actually the reason that these products are made from very bad materials, and sourcing ethical materials are also more expensive. I think I responded to that. Let me know if not. So Vicky has a second question. The grading system is a great idea, and it reminds me of the energy grading system exactly. Of electrically powered products. A good idea might be to incentivize clothing companies with a certificate, for example, that recognizes companies that follow the system. Nice. It would obviously need marketing backup for commercial recognition, of course.
If I can get in here, there's a project right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would obviously need marketing backup. Yeah, certificates like these are quite common and backed by the private sector without them originating from state policies. Yeah. Thank you, Vicky. So, yeah, thank you for the feedback. Thank you, everyone. I hope you liked it. I was a bit nervous after these technical issues that we faced, but now I'm feeling better.
That is great. I
Thank
just
you,
want to,
Vicky. That
I
was
just want
nice.
to,
Thank you so much.
yeah, it was a great presentation. I think you have a very important theme at your hand. The question is, what do you plan to do with it?
As you suggested me, Mr. Abhishek, I applied for a PhD, and just to make some further research on that. So we hopefully soon can see a solution provided like this to see a more sustainable future.
Great.
Do you have any further ideas on what should I do with that?
Well, I think a PhD is a very good idea because then you can deepen the inquiry. You can understand perhaps some of the things that are happening worldwide in this regard. I mean, digital product passport is quite Eurocentric at this moment, but when we talk about the excesses of fashion, it's a worldwide phenomenon. So whereas your masters paved the way, I think a PhD can, profound make your knowledge base deeper. Maybe it can, you can identify a certain area which you can resolve through your PhD, and you can propose a project. You can propose a solution which can have a greater scope of applicability, let's say. And
Yeah.
also, what it does is that when you're in PhDs, you get access to networks, and important networks, and networks which can have some sort of a leeway towards or open doors for you to interact with policymakers, with people who decide stuff in administrations. So, and also as a PhD, you'll be an expert of the subject. So that's why that aspect also helps quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And if you guys don't have any questions, let me know. So I think we're good. I think we're
All right.
good. Thank you all. Thank you. I really appreciate guys for joining us tonight and spend your Friday evening here with me talking about sustainable fashion. And I hope you are having a great weekend ahead. Let us know what your PhD research brings up. Of course, Daniel. Of course, I'll let you know. Of course. So thank you all for being here. And thank you, Mr. Abhishek, for making this happen. And also, Miss Sarah, I know you're
Yeah.
somewhere here. I really, really appreciate for making this happen again.
Great. Thank you, Vicky. Thanks a lot. Hi. We hope to see you soon.
You're gonna see me in July. We have the
Great.
graduation.
All right.
So,
Great.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye. See you. Have a nice weekend.